sounds like really sad, but I didn't have like many friends or anything like that, so it was kind of like I started drawing, and I couldn't draw anything. Like I couldn't even draw a tree. I remember struggling to draw trees. Like I started getting a little bit better at it, and then I like kind of discovered them, and I was like, I was really interested in it. I went to the London MCM one like last year in the summer, and it was like I went to that one like as a fan, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Like everybody's like really like friendly to like each other, and like you don't come across anyone who's not there to like have fun, you know what I mean? So everyone's just nice.
I'd say we're quite into it. We've been to a couple of like a few events in cosplay, so yeah.
More so for me because I lived in Japan for a year. I've been back for a couple of months, so I went to like Comic-Con and stuff like that. But actually, I have to say I prefer Western conventions because Japanese conventions are very, very busy and sweaty, and there's not a lot of official merchandise because with Japanese fans you can buy that anywhere pretty much. So it's more fan-based stuff. So I like our conventions better in that sense because you can go and like see all the kind of merchandise like this, which is hard for us to get. So that's what I like about us.
Well, my name's Ed Murphy. I'm the publisher at Rough Cut Comics. I'm going into my 12th year as a publisher. We now publish probably about 8 to 10 titles a year. That is the ones that we continuously do. The Surgeon, Rose Black, Freedom Collective, Amanda Swan. We're picking up a book by the Marvel DC writer Jim Alexander, who's just sitting behind me just now. Good Cop, Bad Cop. That's going to be our next one. And I think the idea with me and Rough Cut Comics was I just started off as someone who wrote and was a comic fan and really wanted to have a company that would pay writers and artists and try and sell our comics into America as opposed to the indie fraternity that was here before, which kind of only worked in Britain. So that's kind of what I am just now.
Literally just like spoke to two people just now, like I think they're called Rough Cut Comics. They're the ones who approached me about the kids' horror book. There's another guy who just came to the store just now, and he wanted me to do like a drawing of Poison Ivy, and I've just done that for him. And he was like left me his email address and that because he wants to do like a story. Like he's a writer and he wants to do a story as well. Because I have an idea. I've had an idea for a story for about 3 years, but I can't write. So I've been like looking for someone to write it. So you'd probably do that as well.
Well, in the 70s, when I grew up, you could get comics, but there wasn't a lot of continuity in them because there wasn't a lot of shops sold and there wasn't a lot of comic shops like there is today, so it was eachy peachy what you got, you couldn't keep issues going. I don't think Marvel and that did that anyway, like chronological order, they just pushed things out, one issue series when it came to this country, but in the 90s, it was easier. I think when I started again, it was around about the time where they killed off Superman. There was no real big internet then, so it was word of mouth, it was reported in the newspapers, but I remember there being queues down Oxford Street trying to get the Death of Superman comic. It was in a black bag, with Batman. I thought he was amazed grounded at them all. He didn't have any powers like the rest of them. Or he had money for his gadgets and things like that, but I don't think he used them. Like Superman uses his powers, he had to go out and fight. I really identified with that. I would say Marvel more than anything else, but Batman has always been my favourite when I was a kid. I like the witty side of Spider-Man, but for all round entertainment value it'd have to be Wolverine. He's very easily pissed off. He's, supposed to be quite small, but, people underestimate him.
It's Batman, he's my favourite. Well, technically my favourite superhero is Spider-Man, but my all-in favourite is Batman. But he's not really a superhero, he's more a vigilante. It's like, I've always been kind of more drawn in to the vigilantes rather than the superheroes. Like, I do like Spider-Man, I do like Captain America, but it's always been, for me, Batman, he'll always be number one. For a guy without superpowers, he's always had like kind of like a power over me, if that makes any sense. He's always made me know how to feel good about myself. It's like if I'm ever down, or that from a young age, like all the way until now, like if I'm ever sad or lonely or, you know, anything like that, it's stick on something to do with Batman.
If they're going to make the movies, they have to incorporate the comic lore. They can't change things.
Went in and saw Batman, not caring about the time at this point when the movie had finished. I was like, wow, best movie I've ever seen. I left school because basically I get bullied every single day, and I went to see Batman, and it's made me feel this good. It's made me feel great. And no matter how much shouting my mum could do, she couldn't take my smile off me, because I mean I was over the moon.
Nowadays it means to me somebody that gets a t-shirt from Topshop or H&M, because they'll kick about with t-shirts like that. So I think modern day, like, it's pretty pointless to most people on the street, but
It seems to be cooler now, like, to be a geek or a nerd. Like, back in the day when we were at school, it was an uncool thing. You know, you weren't popular if you were a nerd or a geek, but now everyone seems to be switching teams and wants to be a nerd or a geek. So there's the real ones like us, but then there's the people that maybe try too hard and try to become one. So that's kind of what I think about it.
The female superheroes didn't get a raw deal. You know, the artists draw them like they're, you know, pin-up girls. The Black Widow in the Marvel films is really, you know, she's a real hero and she's good at what she does. She doesn't need to sit with her boobs hanging out. And I think that's the one thing about them. They're a secondary person. They're a backup. You know, they're still there looking good with, you know, big bums and big boobs. But they don't focus on that with the male superheroes. So why focus on it with somebody that's there that's doing the same job? I mean, if you look at Miss Marvel and some of the new Avengers comics, she was, you know, more like a pin-up model than a superhero. So I think there's no reason to come right for them like that. Why have skimpy tights and skimpy shorts for they're doing the same job as the guy, you know?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I would have to say I'm a Spider-Man type of girl. Spider-Man's my favourite. Bit cliche, but yeah, Spider-Man.
Mine's is probably Green Lantern, because anybody can be Green Lantern. It's a bit better.
See, I'm a Batman girl. Can't help it.
Well,
It's the black suit and sweet is.
I'm not really sure, but I do.
Where did you put him?
I do have a couple of drawings here. Yeah.
There he is.
I've always had a soft spot for the Golden Age Green Lantern. Only in 1940 could you come up with a costume like that for a character whose like main theme was the colour green.
I'm the editor for Planet Jimbot, which has produced all of these wonderful things. I've been doing that for about 2 years. I'm Ellie Winter, and I basically try and keep all the writers in line.
And I'm Will Pickering. I'm the artist on Burke and Hare, Something Fast, and a whole bunch of stuff for Planet Jimbot. Most recently, Savant issue 1. I'm also doing issue 2 of Wolf Country at the moment.
Wow. What does it mean to us? I think, like, it's a good way to make friends. It's a really good community. Like you saw here today, like, it's quite an artistic community. It's a really good chance for people to be creative and, you know, either through drawing or through like cosplay and stuff like that. So I think it's a good way to kind of get that creative energy out.
She's pretty much just stole everything I wanted to say, but I think it's a good if you're a little bit shy to maybe meet other people that are into the same things as you, and it's a good social activity for people like that. And I think maybe doing cosplay and dressing things like that gives you a bit more confidence and